Hey, this is week 18, I believe, of 2025. It's the week ending May 4th. May the 4th be with you if you celebrate that kind of thing. I'm recording this on my MacBook Pro, which I haven't done for this podcast in a while. It's just been easier to do things on the go, and I haven't been generally at my desk to do these recordings. So I'm here, and I think last time I mentioned that the audio wasn't recording properly. It had something to do with sample rates or whatever. Uh, I I don't think I actually figured that out. But what I've done is I just said, forget using Bluetooth speakers. I will just switch the 3.5 millimeter audio jack from the laptop headphone jack and plug it into the Linux headphone jack when I want to use the Linux box. And that's just the way I'm going to do it. It's going to be much easier that way. I don't have to fiddle with sample rates. Like I was recording something, and when I would play it back over Bluetooth, it would be pitched way down. But if I and the way that I had set up is when I played it back over the internal speakers, then it was pitched way up, and it was all messed up. So, anyways, it's working now. But I mentioned the Linux box. I've got that sitting at my feet here on the floor. I just installed Linux Mint on an old PC that used to belong to my mother-in-law, but we upgraded her PC and moved all her files, so I get to play with it. It's an HP box. It's running a 1 terabyte hard disk drive, so not SSD, unfortunately. It's got 8 gigabytes of RAM. Although the funny thing about that, I was going to harvest some RAM from an older desktop and put it into this one, but this one is actually using the laptop RAM. So I'm thinking that I may try to upgrade the RAM later, get a couple of eight gigabyte RAM cards or whatever. But I'm right now. I want to see how it runs with just the 8 gigabytes of RAM. I'm using it to run a Plex server. I'm in the slow process of uploading or of ripping DVDs and stuff and putting them on the server. It's a slow process because the DVD player on the Linux box isn't exactly handling the copy protection properly. So what I have to do is rip the DVDs on my MacBook and then transfer them over to the Linux box. But I I got a creative solution for that because I set up an SSH tunnel for the Linux box. So I have it set up where I can just drag files into it's a program called CyberDuck. I'd never heard of it before, but it's basically like it allows you to drag and drop files into the Linux box. So that's cool. I've got that set up. The other thing that I set up was a local NAS. So I think that's network attached storage. What I did was I took the photo hard drive that I'm using to back up my photos and everything. I made that a network drive. So this Linux box it's going to be on 24/7, and I mapped the network drive to my Windows PC so I can just drag and drop things. It's in an external hard drive enclosure, and I think eventually what I would like to do is change that hard drive to either an external asset, like a proper external drive. Actually, I think that was probably the easiest thing to do, and then transfer the files to that and then turn that into the network drive. But for now, I'm just going to leave it the way it is because it's working, and I back up my photos anyways on OneDrive as well. So that's I'm not worried about that. But yeah, it's been a pretty good week, I think. It's been I don't know. I'd say it's a little up and down, but the weather's been great. I'm making up in office days because I missed 2 weeks of in office days, so that's works out to be 6 days. And so it means I'm going into the office 4 days a week instead of 3 days for the next, I don't even know how many weeks. And it kind of sucks because when I get to Wednesday, it feels like, because that's the third day is Wednesday, and it feels like the next day I'm like, oh, okay, I can work from home. But unfortunately, that's not the case. I have to go in Thursday and work a fourth day. So it it feels, it's strangely draining. And I say strangely because we used to work in the office 5 days a week. I should be able to handle this, but I don't know, maybe that's just a sign that working in the office 5 days a week was not actually a good idea, which seems like a shocking theory. I don't know, but that's just maybe that's the realization that I'm having, is that, if 4 days a week is too much for me mentally, then 5 days is completely wrong as well. So um I think I was gonna have like basically 6 weeks of 4 in office days, but I think it's gonna be uh extended a little bit because in a couple of weeks I have not dentist, a doctor's appointment set up, and I decided to take a personal day and just not go into the office, and that way I can uh you know hang out around the house and do whatever I want, go to the appointment, come back. The doctor's office is much closer to where we live versus if I were to go to work. So like it doesn't make any sense for me to go into the office, leave, go to the doctor's, and either go back or go back home and log in. I don't know. It just doesn't seem worth it to me. And hey, I have personal days to use, so I might as well use them. I mean, that's what they're there for. Technically, you're supposed to use those for appointments and stuff. So might as well. I don't know. I actually kind of feel empowered. I don't know if that's the correct word. But like when I took a sick day last month, I don't know. I don't usually take sick days, so it just, I don't know. Maybe what I mean to say is that it's a little bit liberating to uh to have taken a sick day. So it kind of makes me more willing to use things like personal days and sick days. And um I mean, I wouldn't say I was really all that sick when I took the sick day, but like it was a cold, and it it wouldn't have been a very good idea for me to go into the office, and it would have been gross and everything. So a sick day was the best alternative, and really that was good. I was able to relax, not worry about work. I didn't check any emails or logins or anything. Yeah, so a sick day was well worth it, and I think that just goes to show that even if it's a cold, sick days are worth taking. You have, well, I know that we have so many sick days every year, so and I rarely take advantage of them. So I think this was a good opportunity. Um, the only thing I have left is softball is starting up soon. We have our first game on Wednesday. We play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but the city fields aren't ready for Monday and Tuesday. But the Wednesday night league is privately owned, so they're able to start this coming week. We had softball practice today being Sunday. And of course, I'll just say it's more batting practice than it is like real practice. It's just we have a couple of pitchers and you go taking turns to bat. And the first batter, maybe fourth or fifth hit in, I went to try and catch the ball, but I didn't quite line myself up properly, and I stupidly put my hand like together with my glove. I think the instinct there was to I think what I was trying to do is time it so that I was putting my hand on the ball to hold the ball in, but I kind of didn't time it properly, and I got smacked in the thumb pretty hard. And so right now I'm looking at it. It's got some good bruising going on. It's pretty swollen. It's a little stiff, and it is a little bit sore and tender, but I don't think anything is broken because I can move it around. It does hurt a little, but I can right now I'm trying to bend it, and it doesn't bend as much as my left thumb, but I can bend it with just a little bit of pain. So I'm just icing it and to keep the swelling down, and I'll see what it's like in the morning. But in practice, I was able to throw the ball. I can see now that I see the bruising. I can see why I was feeling the pain where I felt it because it's a bruise going down the side of my thumb, and so when I was throwing the ball, it would roll off that side of the thumb. But I don't know. It's always something interesting going on with softball in terms of injuries and stuff. So I hope that is the worst of it this year. But you never know. Anyway, I have lots of stuff to do around the house ahead of Monday, but I don't really feel like doing half of it because of my thumb. Like I I wanted to do I wanted to do dishes, clean things up, but really I don't really feel the 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 motivation to do that because I don't feel like hurting my thumb or feeling the pain. So the good news though, to avoid doing any housework and stuff, I did test out playing video games after I iced my thumb for a little bit and had a nap. Turns out I can hold the PS5 controller just fine. I played through some missions on Spider-Man, the PS4 game, and everything seems okay. So I think to uh, uh, to my friend's delight, because he likes to play NHL 25, I'll be able to play NHL 25 just fine. So I can play some online games this week. But yeah, that's all I had, and I'm going to leave it at that.